Welcome to the Great Loop aboard the Perch. This is leg 36, going from Little Falls to Sylvan Beach, New York, and I am Kim Russo with America's Great Loop Cruisers Association. We stayed on the wall here at Little Falls, and it was a lovely stay. We had ducktails inside the building there. There is laundry available. The staff could not be more helpful. It was just a great place to spend the night and was very economical, which is nice when fuel prices are as high as they are. So there are all of the boats docked at the wall as we were pulling out the next morning. Most of those are looper boats. And we headed down the river to continue our trek on the Erie Canal. Today we would be doing primarily some more locks, and the first one we timed to arrive about 7 o'clock when the locks open. We are continuing to move towards Sylvan Beach, which is another town that has a free wall, and we'll tell you more about that as we approach Sylvan Beach. A total of 5 locks for us today, which is fewer than we have been doing over the past several days, so that's a little bit of a respite from the constant locking through. It was a beautiful day, pretty calm waters. Lots of this section of the river is just really kind of long, straight shot, but this was an interesting approach to a lock, and that is another looper boat in front of us who we both had been waiting for the lock to be ready for us to lock through. So we got the green light and headed into the lock. This is kind of the first video I've shown of the lock actually filling with water and it kind of bubbling up as the lock masters are allowing more water in to float the boats up. Usually I'm pretty busy making sure that we are secured to the wall while the lock is in transition there, but I did catch a little bit of video of the lock actually filling. So that was kind of new to the videos that I've been doing. Continuing on, we of course, as I said, a bit of a straight shot for a long distance at this point. So not a lot of exciting cruising, but still a pretty desolate area. Every now and then we would come across a town with a little bit of interest on the sides of the waterway. But the rest of the time it was really just trees and just beautiful cruising. So we continued working our way towards Sylvan Beach. Here is another lock that we are going into at this point, and there's the approach to that lock. We still have the same looper boat that we are cruising along with. It makes sense for all of the boats who lock through together to kind of continue at the same speed and reach the next lock together as well. If one boat speeds ahead, it doesn't really do that much good because that boat will end up waiting at that next lock for the rest of the group to reach there as well. So it's pretty common to continue to lock through with the same boats that you've been with for most of the day. Lots of deadheads and downed trees in this area, so something to be a little cautious of as you're continuing westward on the Erie Canal through here. The other thing that is of interest as you continue to work your way through here, our fourth lock of the day was the first one since we entered the Erie Canal that we are now entering at the top of the lock, and we are locking downward. So we'll be at that lock in just a minute, but here's a little bit more of that long straight shot as you're continuing down the river. And here is the lock. So we're entering and we are at the top of the lock. This is another lock with the weighted ropes or weighted lines. So you can see that I have taken that back to the boat. I have done one turn around a cleat. You don't want to cleat that off, but you want to use the cleat for leverage to hold the boat against the wall. This is especially dangerous if you were to cleat this off. As the water drops out of the lock, you can be caught up if the boat is cleated. If that line is cleated, you'll end up just kind of hanging there. And again, once that tension is on that line, it's impossible to uncleat it. So just be cautious, make sure you're using proper locking techniques. And we continued on approaching the fifth lock of the day and the second lock that would take us downward after so many upward locks. We knew there were boats waiting for us at the other side of this lock who would want to be locking through from the other direction. One of them turned out to be this Skull, and we kind of gave them a little toot on the horn, which they were encouraging, and they gave us a big cheer, so that was a lot of fun, and those guys were just having a blast there in the Skull. So we pulled into a small marina there in Sylvan Beach. Probably does not do a lot of transient business. The cursor there, the arrow, is showing you where the free wall is in Sylvan Beach. Most loopers will go to the free wall. We chose not to because there is no power there, and because of the delightful bird we have on board, we need to have a little bit better climate control, and we did not want to run the generator all night at a free wall. So we pulled into this marina. As you can see, several voyages for the day, again, because of the locks. 6.5 hours underway, about 42 nautical miles with an average speed of 6.6 knots and a max speed, once again, of 10 knots, which has pretty much been our average as we've been locking through on the Erie Canal. So there's the path. You can see we're on the east edge of Oneida Lake, ready to cross the lake tomorrow and head into Brewerton. So we'll be back with that video soon. Thanks for watching.